Hello, Hammers here again. Listen here.
Years, car designers have dreamt of a suspension system.
Now, I watched this old archive footage. If I keep pausing, it'll go wappy.
Provide absolutely ideal handling and ride, no matter what the load in the car, no matter how it was being driven or what the road surface was like.
And I thought it was James May talking here because
suspension systems are a compromise. Even in this Lotus Esprit, for example, which is regarded as a paragon of ride and handling.
A paragon.
System, you have
Paragon.
at some expense and ride. Alternatively, if you want a car with very smooth ride, then one has to accept.
It just sounds like James May to me. At this point, you tell me if I'm wrong or right.
Over the years, few companies have got the ride and handling of a traditional suspension system so consistently right as Lotus. Yet even their engineers realised that the way forward had to be with a suspension system that could offer optimum ride and handling at all times by adjusting itself to the various conditions imposed on it. One racing
Sorry for the put.
depended entirely on keeping a
Look,
consistent gap
does he not
between
look
the car
like
body
James
and
May?
the road. But to
I know
do
the
this
hair's
with
different
suspension
and the face is
system
different.
meant raising the spring rate
You know what I
to a
mean,
factor
but
of 5 or
seriously.
6, which led to a
Spring
very, very
rate.
harsh ride and even talk of drivers suffering brain damage as a result.
Brain damage?
Also, in slower corners, the car tended to skate across bumps and you lost grip. And it was an instrumentation.
Look at him bouncing about.
Formula One
Does he
car.
not remind you of James May? He reminds me of James May. I found out subsequently it isn't him. I know it isn't really, but the way he talks and his emotions and his verbal interactions do sound very much like him. What the hell's that? Get away!
Technology that led directly to a joint program to design and develop a totally new suspension system which would have complete control over the movements of the wheels, no matter what the aerodynamic loads were on the car and no matter what the track surface did. It was to use the very sophisticated electronic principles involved in the latest aircraft control
Oh, there you go.
and
Aircraft. What does James May always say? Buffeting, and he's always he's a pilot, isn't he? And he's always rambling on about bloody pilot tripe.
Lotus and Cranfield
Well, I don't
designed
say it's
the
tripe.
plants
Pilots are
first
very,
instance
very clever
on a
individuals, and I
road
respect
car.
them.
To drive, it feels very like a normally sprung car, except that it doesn't roll when cornering and pitch when
Look at those
braking.
Rover, what are they? Rover Vitesse light, Rover, what were that? SD1 lights.
And very good steering response. No roll in a conventional suspension system would automatically mean a very stiff suspension, but in most respects this car rides bumps as well, if not better, than the standard Esprit.
Well, there we have it. I'm sure I bored your tits off with that, but there you go. I just thought I don't know who that bloody bloke is, but he reminded me of James May, you know, with all this aeronautical talk and technical bloody jargon that probably most folks don't understand, but there you go, a bit of fun, but I don't know what I think it's Top Gear from the bloody 80s. Lotus Esprit, nice car, but I say they're Rover 8, and I love their backlights of the Rover SD1, so I'm not knocking them. But I know it's like I've got Aston Martin DB9, and bloody hell, we've got a Volvo sat nav. So what I'm rambling on about, I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't like car manufacturers using other car manufacturers' parts, and I know they're all integrated or integral or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, Aston Martin, it's got Ford door puddle lights. I'm going from memory now, so bear with. But Volvo sat nav. I don't know, a load of other stuff from other cars. But it's either Jaguar, which I know is part of Ford Jaguar, or Volvo, which I know is part of Ford. But, you know, Aston Martin, it's a brilliant car, I love it. DB9, bloody brilliant. But it's like a kit car put together by somebody between me and you in your garage and somebody, dare I say it, a German manufacturer who knows how to make cars. So you end up with a hodgepodge of things with an hodgepodge of parts. But it's a bloody lovely car. So there you go. Hey, the switches on the DB9, you know, you see, there's something you goes to get. You remember Maplin's? Maplin's, it's like an electrical store. They're just a little rocker switch to put your heated seats on. And I know it sounds like a first world problem, but I'm just saying. And you think, you know, other manufacturers have a little bit more intelligence, but they bought them switches for 50 pence. Well, I don't know, less than 50 pence for bloody Maplin's little rocker switches. Oh, I'm moving my arm if you can't see it, but I'm look, it's a little tiny rock at the back. I don't know, 12 half inch by inch long, sat at the side of the seat, and the little rocker switches. You push them forward for one heat, middle for none, and back for two. I think something like that. But really, is that what Aston Martin are? Goodness God! But that mine's a 2009, so maybe they're a bit better now. Anyway, ta-ta. Rant over. Ta-ta. Oh, the heck.